Sorry, I think Hakim, you have a question, Hakim.
Mal, if fireman, you inhale the smoke, it's alright, right?
Yeah.
Consider it's part of your job. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So unless, because fireman, you cannot help it. So it's the hukum of wind. So even if I have the bukhor here, if I have a bukhor here, let's say there's something burning here, and I got no choice. If it goes into me, because I'm not taking a whiff, I'm not whiffing it. But in the case of fireman, it's the same. It doesn't nullify fast. Just give me, I think, a minute. I will go and get my charger here. Here. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, Paya Lebar top 5 man. Okay. So that is number 3. Number 4 is inserting anything into the anal or the vagina. That is number 4. So it's suppositories. If you have so in if you have any medication, for example, if you have any medication that needs to be administered through putting it into your the anus or the vagina, then in this case it nullifies the path. But if it is a condition that is extremely difficult, then there are opinions outside of the madhab, and this is the opinions by some contemporary scholars, which is it doesn't invalidate the fast. But the advice of our teachers is to stick with our madhab, stick with the madhab, and in this case, if you are extremely dependent on this medication, then you just pay fidya before the next fasting month. Then number 5 is to the number 5 is to insert something. One is you insert and you stay there, but another one is when you insert something further up the anus or the vagina, further than the area exposed when one sits down. So that means for guys, our anus is the surface itself. But for ladies, for a person who has never been consumed the marriage or has never engaged in sexual intercourse, then for her it's exactly whatever that she sees from when she sits down. I mean from her vagina. That means the actual outer opening. But for a person who has engaged, who has consumed her marriage, then for that is when she squats down, right? When she squats down, that is her opening. That's her opening. So that means that is the heart. That is the you pass that thing already. Then after that it nullifies your fast. You all understand or not? There's the story. You all can understand this. So am I hanging? Am I hanging?
Okay, dah okay.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, because keep saying that my connection is unstable. Okay. So but you all understand the story. So that for the anus and the vagina, for guys and girls, anus is basically the anus itself. Whatever the opening, the orifice, that is the opening. That's your heart. So if you insert something just beyond the heart, that can be your finger. So especially when we cebu, especially when we clean after ourselves, when do istinja, be very careful. Don't go and insert your finger up the anus, or you insert the tissue paper up the anus. It's also not good. It's a reason why it's one of the causes where people get piles. You just need to wash the outside. Don't insert, don't force things inside. Just to wash. It's a reason why people get piles. Salisul baul. People get the salisul baul piles because of inserting things, and it causes damage to the internal to your anus. And then for the vagina, it's basically for a girl it's the outer one, but the had or the limit is when she, for a person who has consumed her marriage, that means is when she squats. That's why we need to educate our wives, our sisters, our mothers, that when they do mandi junub, it is wajib for them to squat to wash to wash when they bathe for their wajib mandi junub. That means at the time when they are washing that area. Okay, so number 6. Number 6 is anything that enters the body cavity. Okay, number 6 is anything that enters the body cavity that goes directly into the to the hollow organs. Okay, so what is this? The hollow organs are your stomach, your bladder, the sinus region. So this is like they call it otak, your otak. But your brain, your sinus region, these are your hollow organs. Although the sinus region is not really an organ, but considered to be a hollow organ in the madhab of Imam Shafi. So if you were to directly puncture something I take a knife, I stab myself and my stomach. It goes through my stomach. In this case, it will nullify my fast. So in this case, what about the injections? Because injections, I am just inserting something into my body, but I'm not puncturing my hollow organs. So in this case, there are three opinions. The first opinion is it nullifies, and all these three is within the madhab. The first opinion is it nullifies. So anything you put into your body, you puncture something into your body, it nullifies. But this is the weakest opinion. The second opinion is that it does not nullify. So if I take an injection, it does not nullify. And a lot of the Nusantara scholars, a lot of them, they actually follow this. And this is Bahsul Mazail when they do, and when we read the arguments, right? Even the contemporary ones, they still follow this argument. It does not nullify. The third one, and even this is according, you look at the books of Ustaz Iqbal, is that the Fatwa Council of Al-Azhar in 1948 states that it does not break the fast. So even Azhar Council in 1948 does not break the fast. So this is the second opinion. The third opinion, and this is the opinion that is preferred by Habib Zain and our teacher Sheikh Fuad Al-Khatib and many other, and even Sheikh Omar Al-Khatib, is to take the third opinion, which is the middle ground between the two. So the middle ground between the two is to look at what is being injected into our body. If it is something where the thing does not circulate, if it's something that stays, for example, if you do if you get injected for you do what do you call this, you need to do
Local
let's say you have a
anesthesia.
cyst and then removal, yeah, what do you call this, anesthesia, yeah, you do a local anesthesia. So you got lignocaine, for example, they inject lignocaine. So in this case it is numb, so the effect is only on the area, no? So in this case they say that it does not nullify a fast. But if it's something like IV, intravenous, you IV, they put water in, circulate through your whole body, and then in this case, it nullifies your fast. So this is the third opinion. So the three opinion, first one is the weakest opinion is it as long as cocok je invalidate. Second opinion, it does not invalidate the fast, and this is also a strong opinion. And the third opinion is that it invalidate is that you have to look at what is being inserted. What is being inserted. So what happened if I put in I put minyak, what do you call it, I put in some minyak zaitun, or not minyak zaitun, what usually people put, minyak serai. They put minyak serai, they put at the stomach area. And then after that, when you burp, you can even taste the serai. You can taste the minyak, you can taste the minyak. So in this case, there must be some form of absorption, even if you put at the stomach. Does it nullify the fast? It does not nullify the fast. In this case, there is no what do you call it, khilaf on this issue. It does not nullify the fast. So if you put, even if you put Vicks here, and then when you burp, you can feel this, you can taste the mintiness, not a problem. In fact, if you wear kuhul is what do you call this? Celak. You wear, what do you call this? You wear celak, and then you can taste the celak. It does not nullify your fast, unless when you spit, you see the blackness of the celak. But if it's just the taste, or you put eye drops, you can taste the eye drops at the back of your throat. Does not modify your, does not invalidate the fast. Okay, so that's number 6. Number 7 is you deliberately or you induce vomiting. That means you purposely vomit, to vomit. So that's number 7. Number 8 is sexual intercourse. Number 8 is sexual intercourse, and sexual intercourse happens when the head, this one is when the head of the penis, that means the helmet there, passes through the vaginal opening, and it cannot be seen anymore. So that is the height for intercourse. So in that case, it nullifies the fast. And sexual intercourse, nullifying the fasting nullified by sexual intercourse is only for men, not for women. I think you all can note this now. Nullifying your fast by sexual intercourse is only for men. It's only for men. So because for a woman, we have discussed earlier that for them, anything that penetrates the vagina from the limit, right, then it nullifies the fast. Correct? So even before sexual intercourse, that means the head of the penis can be ghalib, that means can disappear inside the vagina. The woman would already have broken the fast by virtue of the inserting something into the anus or the vagina. Inserting something into the vagina. Sorry, anus is haram. Inserting something to the vagina. And then you can, I think you all can put later, just put a star on sexual intercourse. There's some rulings when we look into sexual intercourse. Number 9 is to when there is the discharge of money through masturbation or through a deliberate act. So a deliberate act. So if you perform masturbation, or you deliberately act, for example, you do kissing, or you do petting, or you do hugging, and then it leads to masturbation. In this case, it leads to ejaculation of money. Then in this case, it nullifies the fast. But if a person khayal, that means you think about it, if you just think about doing something, or if you go through wet dream, and then there is the ejaculation of money, in this case it does not nullify the fast. Number 10 is when you intentionally use water in abundance when rinsing the mouth, or when cleaning the nose during ablution, such that it enters the body cavity. That means such that you accidentally swallow it, or it enters the heart of the nose. So I will explain this. So when a person takes wudu, what is required of him to do in shara? So in shara, the minimum is to do once, right? And the sunnah is to do 3 times. So if he were to take wudu, he should only gargle or to wash the nose thrice only. So if he were to take, for example, he gargled, and then it's the 4th time, and during the 4th wash, the 4th gargling, or the 4th istinshaq, then the water, you can feel it goes it goes past the sinus region until it goes into the sinus cavity, or you accidentally swallow it. In this case, it nullifies the fast because it's the 4th wash. Because for wudu, you only need 3 washes. So the 4th one is known as abundance, mubalagha. So it's mubalagha. So it's there's using in abundance. Or alternatively, a person, he didn't do 4 times, but during his gargling, he went to gargle a cup full of water, or pail full of water, and then he gargled. In this case also, it is mubala. It's excessive. You don't need that much water to gargle. You don't need that much water to do your istinja. So in these 2 cases, because of the excessiveness, therefore your fast is invalid. So when you gargle, you just need to gargle enough. But if it is your usual, and so happen, it accidentally entered the nasal cavity, or you accidentally swallow, and this is your second wash, your first wash, your second wash, or your third wash, and it's it is a normal amount of water to use. Therefore, your fasting is not invalid. Then of course that is considered to be it does not invalidate your fast. What happens if a person is on his first wash, and then he gargle, he take, and then he swallows it? It's normal amount, and then he swallows it. Does it invalidate the fast? Danish, do you think the fasting is validated? Or maybe if Danish is busy, maybe Hafi, do you think the fasting is invalidated?
Tahu Amal.
Huh?
Tak tahu Amal.
So dia basuhan pertama tau. Dia nak kumur-kumur. You want to kumur-kumur, you put the water into the mouth. It's the first wash only, but he goes and swallow it.
Ni
Azli,
dia
Ingat dia okey kan?
tadi.
Mal?
Ha?
Ni okey kan?
Ni okay. Okay, dia okay kenapa?
Korang pasti lah tu.
Okay. So, okay. So, it is okay if it's unintentional. But if he intentionally swallows it, that means you say ambil can lah. I know kalau, you know, my first wash, I use enough water, I just ambil can lah. I will go and swallow. If he purposely swallow it, then it is invalid. So these are the three scenarios. Three scenarios that I can give you for to invalid to when the using excessive water. So the first scenario is when I intentionally I swallow it. So intentional, as long as intentional, purposely you do it, it is invalid. Second one is if I do it more than 3 washes. So after my third wash, I swallow it because I wash 4 times, I wash 5 times. It is invalid. The third one is if I use more water than required, or more water than necessary, or more water than usual, then and I accidentally swallow, it is invalid. Can understand? Now, so so what about this? I think one of the things that people usually do during fasting is they abandon their gargling, and they abandon their istinshaq because they are scared they accidentally swallow. So in this case, if you my suggestion is continue to do it, continue to gargle, continue to do your istinshaq. After your gargling, when you spit, after you remove the water, you can spit maybe once or twice if you want to. Don't have to keep spitting. Just spit and then just let it be. Just let it be. After a while, the water is gone because it is being absorbed by the the gums and things like that. So after that, just after you dah buang, make sure you spit properly, and then don't was. Just give it maybe a few seconds. Let your gums everything absorb the whatever that's water, and then just continue with your wudu. Sometimes you feel a bit kesian because people they gargle and then they keep spitting 4 or 5 times, keep spitting because they takut of the water. But after maybe you spit twice, you give it a few seconds, the water dah gone already. Then it's mainly your saliva again. Can understand? Now, now what's the time now? 7:05. Aduh, okay, I will quickly just do this. The number 11 is to swallow saliva that has left the mouth. Left the mouth, or that any saliva that has been mixed with impure substance such as blood. Okay, so if you let's say let's say you suddenly want to become a kid, then you start to compile your saliva and then let the saliva exit the mouth, and then you I don't know I don't know how little kids do it. I mean, I was a small kid, maybe I did it also, but and now I don't know how they do it. They let the saliva drool, and then they suck back the drool. In this case, it invalidates your fast, and you swallow it invalidates your fast. Or you have you mix it with something, you mix like with toothpaste or ink, because of that it is no longer pure saliva, invalidates your fast, or it has become impure, like you have bleeding in the mouth, then it becomes impure. So if your mouth bleeds, you should spit out the saliva. It is important to know, but if you stick out your tongue, and you bring back, my tongue is very short, so you stick out your tongue and you bring back in, it is okay, because the tongue is still considered to be the mouth. Okay, the tongue is still considered to be a mouth, so it's just that it's like an extension of the mouth, so the saliva is still considered to be on the mouth or inside the mouth, even if you stick out the tongue. Okay, so therefore, please, after your after sahur, please go and brush your teeth. Jangan jadi pengotor. Go and brush your teeth, go and gargle, so that you don't unintentionally swallow food particles. And then number 12. Number 12 is to swallow phlegm or mucus when it is possible to spit. So if you have phlegm that has left or mucus, you have mucus, if you can spit it out, you should spit it out. But if it is like, below the heart, so the heart, the limit for the mouth is here, ha, where you say ha, the ha pedas, the ha, jim ha ho, the jim buta, ha. So that is where this is your limit. So after ha, if it goes out from this, exits, then it is considered to be you can spit already. Or if it goes, or if you swallow something, you put, for example, you put something into your throat. You put you are the circus master. You put the sword in. You put the sword in, and then you remove. Once the sword has passed through the heart, then your fast is invalid. Okay. Then for your, especially I think for your mucus that comes from the back, if you can spit out, you should spit, but sometimes it's very difficult. And if it flows in, then it is not a problem. If it flows from the back and you accidentally swallow from, because it's from the back, it is not a problem. And then the 13th one is number 13 is you engage in, there is a continued engage in a sexual act after dawn. So after subuh or before subuh, you were doing with you were performing a sexual act, you are doing intercourse with your wife, but suddenly azan subuh. If azan subuh, you should immediately withdraw. Then your fast is not nullified. But if you continue to do it, then your fast is nullified. Okay. So number 14 is to being asleep or unconscious from dawn to sunset. So if you sleep before subuh, you sleep. After maghrib, you wake up. You sleep for that 13-14 hours the whole time without waking up for even for a momentary time, then your fasting is invalid. And likewise, if you fall unconscious, so you pengsan sebelum subuh, you pengsan, and then you sadar after maghrib, in this case your fasting is invalid. But if you regain consciousness, even for a short moment, you regain consciousness, but you go back, but you fall back into consciousness, then your fasting is invalid. That's number 14. And the last one, okay, number 15 is when you break the fast by eating or drinking, thinking that it was sunset, and then doubting if it was so. So for example, you thought that it was already you thought that it was maghrib already, but suddenly you find yourself doubtful whether it is maghrib, and you cannot ascertain whether it is maghrib itself. In this case, your fasting is invalid. Can you understand the example? So the example is, I am a traveler. I don't know what time is maghrib. I go to a place I don't know, but I thought that, okay, looking at the sky, I look at my time, it looks okay, should be around maghrib. Okay, so according to my ijtihad, first I make ijtihad, I look at the sun, or maybe I look at the sky, it suddenly becomes very dark. So I thought, oh, dah maghrib already. So I break my fast. But suddenly you realize it was just a passing of rain clouds, and suddenly it becomes bright again. or it becomes like a sunset kind of you can see the red hue in the sky. So you were unsure whether just now when I break my fast, was it Maghrib or was it not Maghrib? Because it was just the rain clouds. So in this case, your ijtihad, so in this case, your fasting is invalid, even though if you are right. Even though if you are right, but if you can get yourself to yaqeen, if you can get yourself to certainty that it was Maghrib just now, then there is not a problem, and then your fasting is valid. Okay, right, inshallah. The last one, it is not inside here. It is not inside the 15 and Ustad Iqbal mentioned. So this is my tambahan. Number 16 is that if you lose your intellect even for a momentary time, so you jadi gila, you lose your faculties even for a momentary period of time, your fasting is considered invalid. Wallahu a'lam bishawab. So these are the 16 things that invalidate fast. So alhamdulillah, we have gone through this part. Next week will be at Ustad next week. Is it next week? Oh no, sorry. Next week we'll still finish up the part on Saum, as part of fasting. We will finish the next page. So the next part of fasting. And then 19th will be at Ustad Nazir's house for Maulid. I hope you all can attend. If you all cannot attend, it's okay, not a problem. It's at Tampines later. Maybe Ustad Nazir maybe coming there, he will share. And then the last week before Ramadan, which is on the 26th, or maybe the second last week before, there's the second last Saturday before Ramadan. I think Ramadan is on the 3rd. One of these days lah. We check, but the 26th of March, then we will go through zakat. We'll go through zakat. So I think Hakim, you may need to sit in for the zakat because you need to know how to pay your zakat fitrah for when you are away, since you're in Australia. Your zakat fitrah and zakat harta. Because zakat fitrah, I think the common misconceptions, there are common misconceptions. So I will explain to you on the 26th, inshallah. Other than that, any final questions about fasting? Anyone? Abu Bakar, can you follow Abu Bakar? Okay, inshallah. I think we can 7:15. What time is Maghrib? Maybe I think we are Maghrib is 7:19. So inshallah, instead of reading Wiridul Latif, we will read the Fa'in Tawallaw Faqul Hasbi Allahu Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illahu alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim 7 times, and then we will read our dua. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا انفعنا بما علمتنا. رب علمنا الذي ينفعنا. رب فقهنا وفقه أهلنا وقرابات لنا في ديننا مع أهل الكتر أنثى وذكر. ربي وفقنا ووفقهم لما ترتدي قولا وفعلا كرما وارزق الكل حلالا دائما وخل الأتقياء علما نحظى بالخير ونكفى كل شر. ربنا أصلح لنا كل شؤون وقر بالرضا منك العيون واقض عنا ربنا كل الديون قبل أن تأتينا الرسل المنون واغفر واستر أنت أكرم من ستر. وصلاة الله تغشى المصطفى من إلى الحق دعانا والوفى بكتاب فيه للناس شفاء وعلى الآل كرام الشرفاء وعلى الصحب المصابيح الغرار. اللهم اهدنا بهداك واجعلنا ممن يسارع في رضاك، ولا تولنا وليا سواك، ولا تجعلنا ممن خالف أمرك وعصاك. وحسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. يا ربنا اعترفنا بأننا اغترفنا وأننا أسرفنا على لظى أشرفنا، فتب علينا توبة تغسل لكل حوبة، واستر لنا العورات وآمن الروعات، واغفر لوالدينا ربي ومولودينا والأهل والإخوان وسائر الخلان، وكل ذي محبة أو جيرة أو صحبة، والمسلمين أجمع آمين ربي. فاسمع فضلا وجودا منا، لا باكتساب منا، بالمصطفى الرسول نحظى بكل سولي، بالمصطفى الرسول نحظى بكل سولي، بالمصطفى الرسول نحظى بكل سولي. صلى وسلم ربي عليه عد الحب، وآله وصحبه عدادة الصحب، والحمد لله في البدء والتناهي.